Hi everyone, and welcome to my video. Today I'm doing something a little bit different with working with watercolor and doodling, which is great fun. It's an experiment and I've really enjoyed doing it. So I'm just going to share with you really my process. I started with just some random shapes. And you know, I'm very into my free drawing, and when I sort of sat down to do this, these shapes just kind of arrived. And I chose a color palette in the watercolors of different shades of blue, cobalt blue, ultramarine, teal blue, sky blue, and some fuchsia pinks and some purples. And really I just decided I would work within those colors. And I was just kind of enjoying working around the shapes and seeing what would happen and developing it as I go. It's kind of very different for me to go back to watercolors, because I used to do a lot of watercolors in the past, but very formal, you know, landscapes and flowers. And because I've done a lot of abstracts in acrylic, I thought, you know, it might be interesting to try something in watercolor, and I've really enjoyed it. It's very loose. I'm just got a lot of water on the brush. I'm only using one brush, which is a beautiful bamboo Chinese brush with comes to a lovely point, but it holds a lot of water and therefore a lot of paint. And so you can sort of see the process here of just putting down the paint in all different ways, letting it flow into itself and combining the colors. It's really it's kind of lovely to see, because of course you don't get that with normal acrylics. You can water them down, but it's different. Here I'm just splattering some dots, just knocking my brush against a pen to get a few, you know, sprays and dots of paint, and I'm really just in the zone of enjoying it. I haven't got an expectation of what it might turn out like. I'm just very much working in the now, if you like, to see what feels like going where with what color. So it's not a linear thinking process. I think I've talked, you know, before on many other videos, you know, to get into the right hand side of the brain as opposed to the left hand side, because the right hand side is really associated with creativity and allowing yourself to just be creative without an actual as it were linear plan, and letting yourself literally both on the paper and in the mind go with the flow. And it's really a wonderful experience, because you can get so lost in it and it takes you over, and you can create things you never really thought possible, which is in many respects what's happening with this picture. Having not done anything like this in watercolor before for a long time, but not in the abstract way, it's a fascinating process. So once I'd let the initial wash dry, I've now got some random pens that I found, and you literally can use anything. I've got some felt tip marker pens and some black fine tipped pens, and I also use some gold, which I love, and white. So I'm just basically doodling over the top of it, and again sort of just staying in the zone of allowing yourself to you know, just create, see where it wants to go. You're very much in touch with your feeling, you know, and painting is very much about feeling and emotion, you know, what we feel about just not only just painting ourselves, but when we're looking at paintings, it's an emotion that arises in us that says, oh, we like this or we don't like that. And what resonates with us, which I always find so fascinating, both as an artist and an art lover, to see what paintings I really love looking at, and then asking myself why. what is it that resonates with me that I love about that painting. So when you're working on your own work and your own painting, you know, staying in that feeling of what's pleasing to you and what's resonating with you about the picture. And I have to say, it doesn't work every time. Sometimes it turns out, you know, a mess, and sometimes it really kind of comes together. And to me, that's all part and part of the process. I'm not sure what's going to happen with this painting as I go. What might come of it? It might just turn into a complete, you know, muddle and not right. But it doesn't really matter, because I've enjoyed the process. If it turns out to be a really, you know, interesting picture, well, that's great. If it doesn't matter. And I think that's one of the most important things to think about, is not judging your work. I think the mistake that, you know, a lot of artists or would-be artists make is thinking it's got to be perfect first off, and, you know, if it's not right, get very frustrated. Well, you know, I tend to think, well, the whole thing is a process. If I get one really great painting out of doing maybe 10, then I'm really happy. But I've enjoyed the process of getting there, and I think really very much that's the point, to enjoy it and not to be judging yourself all the time. So I'm just continuing here with my dots and squiggles with a white pen here, and you know, it's turning out very interestingly to me how it's all working, and I've been really enjoying the process. And I hope, you know, when you start yours, you will too. And you know, you can make them into cards, you could frame them, you could do a number of different things. You could cut out the areas that you like and turn that into a card. You know, I often do that with little things that I've, you know, playing with. There are areas that I really don't like, and the areas that I do, and I can cut that out and use that as a card or a bit of collage. The main point is to enjoy it and, you know, stay in the moment and just allow yourself to create. This kind of went on for a little while more with this painting, and I didn't finish doing all on camera because I fiddled and faffed around with it, and I just wanted to show you the basics of it. And here we go. That was more or less finished, and then I added some other little bits and pieces to it to just enhance it. As you can see here, it turned out to be fishes which I really enjoyed. It was like, it's like an underwater scene with shells and things. So, and here it is with a little frame around it. So I hope you've enjoyed this video. Thanks for watching, and do like and subscribe and press the notification button, and you'll receive a message when I put up a new video. And I'd love to read your comments. It's always nice to get some feedback. So thanks again, and see you soon. Take care. Bye for now.